Alright guys, so I'm just prepping some ARP bolts for our engine here, and you have to coat them with some moly. Alright guys, so I got all the moly on the bolts, and so for the ones that go through the coolant passages, I'm just going to put some of this thread sealant on here. Alright guys, so I got all the bolts done. I'm going to finish putting them in the motor, and then I'm going to torque it up and do some piston to valve clearance checks. Hope I didn't get too much of this stuff on me today. I'm famous for getting this crap on me. Okay, so I see I made a mess of it again as usual. Ugh, jeez. Ugh. Damn. And before I could get a chance to work on the Mustangs, guys, I had to cut the grass, which sent my allergies into full-blown overdrive. Alright guys, you might be wondering what's going on here. Well, if you've seen my last video on the Silver Coupe, you know that I caught it on fire, and I've been fighting some issues for a while. That engine has about 14 pounds of oil pressure hot, so it's getting pretty tired. This is supposed to be a low mileage, 51 or 57,000 kilometer short block. That's what we're going to put in. The guy I got it from put a TFS1 cam in it. But who wants a TFS1 cam when you can have the B303? That's what we're doing here today. We're going to rip out this TFS1 cam, put a real cam in here, B cam. But I am going to do one thing first. I had the pistons in this short block fly cut for a larger cam. So I have a comp Xe274 over on the shelf. I'm going to put it in first and check to see if I have piston to valve clearance in case I want to change something up later on down the road. So what I'm using here, guys, is some modeling clay. You always hear the term Play-Doh brought up. From what I hear, if you use Play-Doh, it will spring back a little bit and it'll give you an inaccurate reading. So I've always been told to use the modeling clay. If you guys use something different, feel free to pop it in the comments and I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, so I used the solid lifter for these tests, and I just took the clip out of here, pulled it apart, stacked it full of washers and put it back together. Seems to work really good. I keep this with my cylinder head stuff. This one here is back when I first started doing this stuff. Didn't have a lot of time one night. Just zipped it together with the welder and it's been holding up ever since. I think I like the one with the washers better though. Alright guys, I've got my Haynes manual here. Feels like I've had this thing about 100 years. It's all greasy, dirty, missing the cover, but hey, it works. It's got the bolt sequence we need to tighten up these head bolts. I'm just going to put it here. So I'm tightening them up in 3 equal steps, as according to our instructions. When you're using your torque wrench, you want to do it nice and smooth, not a jerk. That will probably give you an inaccurate reading. Just nice and easy. Glad I've got you guys here for moral support. Things haven't been going quite right lately. Ever since the big storm, nothing's been going quite right. Between the big storm and the fire. But I'm not complaining, because it could always be worse. Okay, so we got our head bolts all tightened up. Now we'll grab some rockers, get them tightened down. Good job scrubbing the brick there.
Shut up! You're nuts.
It's from your generator. Okay guys, I realize there's different ways of doing piston to valve clearance, but this is the way I always do it. This gives you pretty much a snapshot of what's going on inside that cylinder. When using weak springs and pressing the push rod down, you can't see if you have radial clearance. between the valve and the eyebrow. I have had a case before where I was running aftermarket pistons and this Xe274 cam, and I didn't have enough radial clearance. I actually had to take a Dremel and open it up. I believe the spec was 60 thou. Don't quote me on that. If you need to do it, look it up. But this is why I love to do it this way. When you cut into it there, you can see how much room you have. That's quite a lot. So I've got my handy steel ruler here, and if I check this out, I don't know how well that's going to focus. I have over 200 thou worth of clearance, and as far as radial goes, got almost 200 thou radial as well. This is the other way I like to check. So once the piece is cut out, I can stick my ruler down in there. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Looks like it's over 200 thou. It's hard for me to do both of these things at the same time. So I'll just continue to go along every so often, cut a chunk out. As you can see, there's lots of clearance there. So if I measure that, it's about the same, 200 thou. So you need 80 on the intake and 100 on the exhaust. That's what I've always gone by. Still all kinds there, guys. Couple hundred thou, lots of radial. All kinds, tons. Still about the same. So as for my intake valve, I would say that there are no worries there. Okay, exhaust valve, let's see. Ooh, exhaust valve looks like it's got more. Almost 300 thou. Wow. There, this will more accurately display it. Well, about 250. See if you guys can see this here. So I've got lots of piston to valve clearance, lots of radial. All kinds, guys. All kinds. Okay, I'm really happy with that. All right, guys, so now I got to pull the extreme energy out, put the B cam in. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's our trusty B303. I think from the other numbers it might have been made in 95, so this is a real OG B03, something that's not real new. Alright guys, if you're going to do piston to valve clearance or a project like this, you're going to want to find some good information to read. I've just kind of touched on some of the basics. Other things come into play like gasket thicknesses, where the cam is degreed in if you've advanced it or retarded it, things like that. So always be sure you have all the information you need before you do something like this. Alright guys, so the B cam's in there and it's all set up and ready to go. Now I just got to do some porting on the GT40P heads before I can install them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Till next time. Have a great one, guys. Bye.